when I was about 27 or 28, I was asked by this investment research startup called Innovest to uh, basically they were getting tons of questions from their clients. Is the housing boom in 2005 when they hired me? Is the housing boom a bubble? And it was a booming housing market at that time, booming. Anyway, so they had a question which was like, "Is this a boom? Is this sustainable? How long is it gonna last?" I was very young. I had no experience analyzing banks. I was very recently out of a master's degree in economics. But what I was able to find was that, and it's the first product I ever really launched in my entire life, I issued a report saying, "No, this is not sustainable." While real wages in the bottom 2 quartiles of income in the United States have been negative for the past 8 years, debt ratios within those same households have increased by 79%. Historically, they've moved in sync, and at a certain point, the people who are taking on all of this debt will not be able to pay it back. And so I took the data that was available to me and made a case that made sense to me. And Matthew Kiernan, my CEO, said, "Yeah, that checks out. I think that's solid." Okay, so not knowing what happens on Wall Street, we published that product, and all of the banks who I named in the report also were clients of Innovest.
Oops.
So it shows up on their radar, and this is in 2000, early 2006. And within minutes, the first phone call comes in. It's the House Counsel of Lehman Brothers, the person at the fourth largest investment bank in the world whose job is to sue people. And it goes directly to my desk, and he says, "We are going to sue you. And I just walked down the hall. We're canceling our contract with Innovest." A few minutes after that, UBS said the same thing. A few minutes after that, another big bank that's still in existence. So by the end of the day, there were 3 banks threatening to name me in a lawsuit, and 60% of Innovest's sales, subscription revenue, had just said, "Poof, gone, goodbye." That was my first ever product, and I called up Matthew. He was based in Toronto at the time. I was based in New York. I said, "Matthew, I think I have to resign." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, This is, I just cost you all your customers. I'm going to be named in a lawsuit. You're probably going to get sued. This is a bunch of sharks swimming in water, and I'm just a kid who came out of my master's degree program. This is the dumbest thing I ever said in my whole life. So if you need to fire me and you need to do it very publicly, I completely endorse that decision. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
um, and he said, "Well, were you wrong?" I said, "Holy cow, you're the first person who asked me that all day. People have just been threatening me how they're gonna kill me and tarnish me, but no one's actually said, like, your data's incorrect." No, I don't think I am, actually. I don't All the numbers hold up, and we've been poring over it. And he said, "Well, everyone who called you called me before they called you." And here's what I told them: "If any one of them comes after us, I'm gonna take out a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal and another full-page ad in the Financial Times, publishing your report and publishing their rebuttal. We are small, but we are not powerless." That's literally the only reason I was the first person to predict the subprime mortgage crisis, because I had a leader who was courageous, and a leader who stuck by his principles and um, had some fire in the belly and tenacity.